Good day everyone, my name is Eliza Lejano and I will be discussing the introduction of Chapter 2, Evolution of Computing. So the learning outcome, by the end of this module, students will be able to discuss and define what is computer functions and characteristics, explain how computer came into existence, enumerate and define the classifications of computer. This will help you understand how computers evolve, explains the major functions of computer, name the characteristics of computer, and classification of computer. So first, what is computer? Based on the PowerPoint presentation, it says that a computer is an electronic device that manipulates information or data. It is designed to process data, provide useful information, and solve problems. It has the ability to store and retrieve data. What is a computer? So, a computer is a programmable electronic device that accepts raw data as input and processes with it with a set of instructions, a program to produce the result as output. The term computer is derived from the Latin word computare, which means to calculate, a machine that performs process calculations and operations based on instructions provided by a software or hardware program. They are also designed to execute applications, and Charles Babbage is also known as the father of the computer. Let me explain our short description about Babbage based on the internet. So, why he called as the father of the computer? Charles Babbage, 1791 to 1871, was an English mathematician, philosopher, and inventor who is widely regarded as the father of the computer because he designed and partially built the difference engine and mechanical calculator and the analytical engine, a more advanced machine that could perform any mathematical calculation using punch cards and central processing unit. So lastly, what are the benefits of using computer? So first, increases your productivity. For example, after having a basic understanding of a word processor, you can create, edit, store, and print the documents easily and quickly. Second, connects to the internet. It connects you to the internet that allows you to send emails, browse content, gain information, use social media platforms, and more. And the third one is the storage. A computer allows you to store a large amount of information. Next is the organized data. And information, it only allows you to start data but also enables you to organize your data. And next, improves your abilities. It helps write good English if you are not good at spelling and grammar. Assist the physically challenged. It can be used to help the physical challenge in grammar. Assist the physically challenged. It can be used to help the physical challenge. For example, Stephen Hawking was not able to speak. Use computer to speak. It also can be used to help blind people by installing special software to read what is on the screen. So what are the causes why he can't speak? Basically, Stephen was diagnosed with a motor neuron disease at the age of 21. As the disease progressed, Hawking lost the ability to speak and move. Despite these challenges, continued to work and communicate using advanced computer technology. And last, keeps you entertained. You can use the computer to listen songs, watching movies, play games, and more. The computers become a part of our life. There are plenty of things that we do in a day that are dependent on a computer. Some of the common examples are as follows. So first is the ATM. While withdrawing your cash from an ATM, you are using a computer that enables the ATM to take instructions and dispense cash accordingly. Next, digital currency. A computer gives a record of your transactions and balance in your account, and the money deposited in your account in a bank is stored as a digital record or digital currency. Trading stock markets use computers for today trading. There are many advanced algorithms based on computers that handle trading without involving humans. Next is smartphone. The smartphone that we use throughout the day for calling, texting, browsing is itself computer. Next, video IP. All voice over IP communication is handled and done by computers.
So, good morning everyone. So, I am Jola C. Pascua. Now, I'm going to discuss the history of computer. So, before we delve to the new technology of computer, let's talk about first the history of computer so that we can appreciate what we have right now. So, the first computer was invented before was the abacus. The history of computer begins with the birth of abacus, which is believed to be the first computer. It said that Chinese invented abacus around 4,000 years ago. Abacus was wooden rock which has metal rods with beads mounted on them. The beads were moved by the abacus operator according to some rules to perform arithmetic calculations. So meaning, yung abacus daw is na-invented para siyang frame with rods or wires na kung saan meron to mga beads na movable wherein ginagamit daw to ng mga Chinese noon para mag-count or bilangin or magbilang gamit yung abacus wherein they use it as an calculation method or tools to calculate the number that they want to find the answer. Okay, so and also the four basic of abacus will be the subtract, multiply, and also divide or division. Okay, so also next another is the Napier bone. So, John Napier invented Napier's bone, a manually operated calculating device using 9 ivory stripe with numbers for multiplying and dividing. So, dito naman sa Napier's bone is ginagamit to for multiplication. Okay, so kung mapapansin niyo sa picture is para siyang multiplication table wherein ginagamit ito para ma-find or mahanap kagad yung answer na gusto nilang malaman in terms of numbering. So, another will be the Pascal line. So Pascal line, also known as the arithmetic machine or adding machine, was invented by the French mathematician philosopher Blaise Pascal between 1642 and 1644. It was the first mechanical and automatic calculator that performing addition and subtraction. So yung Pascal line is a kind of rotating wheel. Kung mapapansin nyo doon sa picture is a kind of wheel. Marami siyang wheel wherein diyan mo i-rotate yung mga numbers na gusto mong malaman yung answer. For example, adding, you're going to rotate the numbers that you want to add and also repeat that process in the another wheel so that you can find out the answer in the lines on the upper part of the wheel. So doon gumagana yung Pascal line. Okay? Pascal line computer before. So next, another will be the step reckoner or the Lewis wheel. It was developed by a German mathematician philosopher Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz in 1673 rather, sorry. So, he improved Pascal invention to develop this machine. It was a digital mechanical calculator which was called the step reckoner as instead of gears. It was made of platen drums with the following image. Okay, kung mapapansin yung image, para siyang same doon sa Pascal line computer before. So, meron lang siyang mga nabago wherein nabawasan yung wheel. So, iisa na lang siya. And also, makikita natin na marami ng line on the upper part. Okay, gumagana naman tong step reckoner is kung saan one wheel only to find the waiver. Kumbaga, kung gusto mong mag-add, for example, addition, where iniikot mo lang yung isang wheel dyan and then you will find out the answer automatically. And also, you're going to type the answer in the upper part. You can see that the lines in the upper part of the wheel, there is a lot of button. So it indicates the digits or the number that you want to add it so that you can find out the answer. Okay, so next computer in the history will be the difference engine. In the early 1820s, it was designed by the Charles Charles Babbage, who is known as the father of modern computer. It was a mechanical computer which could perform a simple calculation. It was a steam-driven calculating machine. So, yung difference naman is ginawa naman ito ni Charles Babbage, which is can perform polynomial mathematics, wherein is kumbaga na-develop ito around 1820s. Okay, so ginagamit ito to calculate basic mathematics. For example, is polynomial. Okay, so another will be analytical engine, and also na-invent din ito ni Charles Babbage around 1830s naman. So, iisa lang yung inventor ng dalawang machine na ito. So, yung analytical engine naman, this calculating machine was also developed by Charles Babbage in 1830. It was a mechanical computer that used punch cards as an input. It was capable of solving any mathematical problems and storing information as a permanent memory tab. So, kung kanina dun sa phrase, which is yung difference engine is minimal lang yung kaya niyang i-calculate. Dito naman is kaya niyang lahat i-calculate, wherein ginagamitan ito ng punch card, wherein mas napapabilis nito yung pag-solve ng mathematic problems. As you can see the picture, meron siyang card in the upper part, where here nakakalculate niya yung kung ano yung problem na nailagay mo doon, wherein makikita yung answer in the different area or the sides. Okay? So, yun yung dalawang na-invent ni Charles Babbage, which is the difference engine and the analytical engine. Okay? So, another computer that invented in the history of computer will be the tabulating machine. So, tabulating machine, it was invented in the 1890 by Herman Hollerith, an American statistician. It was a mechanical tabulator based on the punch cards. It could be tabulate statistics and record or sort data or information. This machine was used in the 1890 US Census. Hollerith also started the Hollerith's tabulating machine company, which later became International Business Machine. So, naging business daw yung pagbuo ng tabulating machine around 1890s, wherein very famous naman yung pagkakaroon ng census, wherein ginagamit ito para malaman kung ilan yung bilang ng family members and also kung paano kinukuha din yung mga boto ng mga people around that country. So, another computer that invented in the history will be the differential analyzer. So, differential analyzer, it was the first electronic computer introduced in the United States in 1930s. It was an analog device invented by Vannevar Bush. This machine was vacuum tubes to the switch electrical signals to perform calculations. It could do 25 calculation in a few minutes. So, ganun kabilis yung pagkakalculate ng differential analyzer. Within 20 minutes or few minutes, you can be access immediately the answer that you want to find out. Okay, and also differential analyzer was used in the US Army in differential analyzer to calculate the artillery range table, and also the famous use of the differential analyzer will be the analyze of solving problems in physics, seismology, and ballistics, wherein as you can see the pictures, makikita natin na kaya niyang calculating yung mga seismology and also the ballistics, meaning kaya niyang i-locate kung ano yung lakas or tendency ng isang lindol. And also they use differential analyzer as the differential used to predict the results of areas such as geometric studies, just like I said lately. And also nagagamit nila ito para hydroelectric studies, wherein they will find out they can locate on what area on the land they can locate what they want to, kung ano yung gusto nilang ipatayo doon. Nalolocate nila kung saan yung malakas yung daloy ng tubig. Okay, so it's very very essential, the differential analyzer that Vannevar Bush invented. And also another will be the Mark I. The next major change in the history of computer began in 1937 when Howard Aiken planned to develop a machine that could perform calculation involving large numbers. In 1944, Mark Mark I computer was built as a partnership between IMB and Harvard. So, naka-display ito sa Harvard University in other countries, okay? So, sa Mark I is, it was designed in 1937 by Howard graduate student Howard Aiken to solve his advanced mathematical physics problems encountered in his research. So, na-invent ito ni Howard Aiken after niya makagraduate sa Harvard University, wherein noong nahihirapan siya para sa research niya doon sa physics. Okay, so na-invented niya yung computer na tinatawag na Mark I. So, okay. So, that's the computer or the computers that invented in the history before. So, based on that is nagbabago-bago yung pagkakaroon natin ng technologies wherein nag-e-evolve yung pagkakaroon natin ng computer na kung saan it reminders for us that we should be thankful that the people that invented computer was still the invention will be evolving wherein they nakakatulong sa atin yung na-invent nila na computer na kung saan nagagamit natin ngayon as an tool kung saan napapadali yung pamamaraan ng pamumuhay natin. For example is yung communications, searching, and browsing. Okay, so that's the different types of history of computer, and that's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ace Emmanuel B. Viasca, and I'm going to discuss the 4 basic functions of a computer. First one, we have the input function. Input function of a computer is the process of entering data into a computer processor that may come to the various operation. So input function simply means it is a function of inputting data to a computer processor with the help of input devices such as monitors, cameras, microphones, mouse, keyboards, controllers, and many more. Next one is a data processing function. Data processing function is performed by the Central Processing Unit or CPU. This is made up of electronic circuits that can be read and carry out code instruction to carry out a variety of tasks, regulates operations that are transmitted, and how data storage is used. So basically, data processing function works with the help of processing unit or CPU. It regulates or it processes the input data with the help of the input devices. This function also serves as the brain of a computer, and it is the most basic function of a computer. Next one is the output function, the process of delivering useful information for the user after processing input data. It is responsible for presenting the final output in human reliable and machine usable form. So output function means it is the result of a processed data from a computer to the external devices such as speakers, monitors, printers, headphones, and many more. And the last one is the data storage function. Data storage function refers to the data that has been transmitted or already saved. From the word storage, meaning dito na ilalagay yung mga saved datas or dito na ilalagay yung mga data ng isang computer. So we have 2 types of storage. First is the temporary and permanent. So temporary is used to store data temporarily. When the system is shut down, the temporary storage component is deleted. For example, dito is yung RAM, na kung saan tumutulong na magpatakbo ng isang application at kapag shutdown ang device na yung ginagamit para maparan ang isang application, madidelete din ang data ng isang application or maglo-close ito. And next one is the permanent. It is used to store data permanently. Computer use hard disk to store data. So, ang isang computer ay merong isang hard disk na kung saan ay nakatutulong na ma-save ang isang data permanently.
Good day everyone. Today I will be discussing the characteristics of computer. So first, I will be discussing the speed. So as you know, computer can work very fast. So computers process information at an incredibly fast rate. So tasks that take human hours or days can be completed in seconds or minutes. So this speed is due to their powerful processors and memory system. And the next is the accuracy. So the degree of accuracy of computers is very high and every calculation is performed with the same accuracy. So, computers follow instruction precisely, ensuring accurate results. Errors usually occur due to the human mistakes, such as incorrect input or programming errors. Let's proceed to the number 3, which is diligence. So, a computer is free from tiredness. So, that is true. So, unlike humans, computers do not suffer from fatigue or boredom. So, they can perform competitive tasks continuously without losing efficiency or making an errors. So, the next is the versatility. It means the capacity to perform completely different type of work. A single computer can be used for various tasks such as writing documents, analyzing data, designing graphics, and even controlling machine. Its ability to switch between tasks makes it highly adaptable. So, the next is the power of remembering. So, computer has the power of storing any amount of information or data. So, computers can store vast amount of data, recall it instantly when needed. So, unlike humans, they do not forget information unless it is deleted. The storage capacity depends on the system memory and external storage devices. Next is no IQ. So the computer is a dumb machine and it cannot do anything work without instruction from the user. So computer lack of intelligence and cannot think for themselves. So they only follow instruction provided by the users through program and commands. So without human input, a computer is useless. And then computer is no feeling. It does not have feelings or emotion. It taste, knowledge, and experiences. So computer do not have emotion, preferences, or consciousness. So they do not experience fatigue, motivation, or personal bias. So ensuring their performance tasks objectively and consistently. And the last is the storage. So the computer has an inbuilt memory wherein the storage a large amount of data. So computer have both temporary RAM and permanent hard drive storage. So they can also use external devices like USB drives and cloud storage to save transfer data across different systems. So those are the main characteristics of a computer. Each one highlight how computers function and why they are so useful in different fields. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Karen J. A. Villanueva. This time, I'm going to discuss the generation of computers. Computer generation are categorized by the technological advancement made during each period. Each generation represents a significant improvements in computing capabilities. In 1946, electronic pathways called circuits were developed to perform the counting. It replaced gears and other mechanical parts used for counting in previous computing machines. In each generation, the circuits became smaller and more advanced than the previous generation circuits. The miniaturization helped increase the speed, memory, and power of computers. There are 5 generations of computers. The first, second, third, fourth, and fifth generation. Now, let's discuss one by one the 5 generations of computers. Let's begin with the first generation computer. The first generation computer were built between 1946 and 1959. It is slow, huge, and expensive. In these computers, vacuum tubes were used as the basic components of CPU and memory. These computers were mainly dependent on the batch operating system and punch cards. Magnetic tape and paper tape were used as output and input devices in this generation. Some popular generation computers are electronic numerical integrator and computer, electronic discrete, variable automatic computer, universal automatic computer, IBM 701, and IBM 650. The second generation was the era of the transistor computers. These computers used transistors which were cheap, compact, and consuming less power. It made transistor computers faster than the first generation. In this generation, magnetic cores were used as the primary memory, and magnetic disks and tape were used as the secondary storage. Assembly language and programming language like COBOL and Fortran and batch processing are the multi-programming operating system were used in these computers. Some popular second-generation computer are IBM 1620, IBM 7094, CDC 1604, CDC 3600, and UNIVAC 1108. This generation computer introduced in 1965. It is a single IC, can pack huge number of transistors, which increase the power of a computer and reduce the cost. The computer also became more reliable, efficient, and smaller in size. This generation computer used remote processing, time sharing, multi-programming as operating system. Some popular third-generation computer are IBM 360 series, Honeywell 6000 series, PDP or the personal data processor, and the IBM 370 over 168, and last is the TDC 316. Fourth generation computer were used from 1971 to 1980. It is used very large-scale integrated circuits, a chip containing millions of transistors and other circuit elements. This chip made this generation computer more compact, powerful, fast, and affordable. This generation computer used real-time, time-sharing, and distributed operating system. Some popular fifth-generation computer are DEC 10, Star 1000, PDP-11, Cray 1 supercomputer, Cray XMP supercomputer. And lastly, the fifth-generation computer. In fifth-generation computer, it is built in 1980 till date. The VLSI technology was replaced, used ultra-large-scale integration. It made possible the production of microprocessor chips with 10 million electronic components. This generation computer used parallel processing hardware and AI, or the artificial intelligence software. They have faster speeds, more storage, and more user-friendly interfaces than previous generation. Some popular fifth generation computer are desktop, laptop, notebook, ultrabook, and the Chromebook.
So, good day everyone. Today I will discuss about the classification of computer. So, there are three classification basis of computer, which is the first one is on the basis of purpose, the second one is on the basis of data handling, and the third one is on the basis of size. So, first I will discuss about the classification on basis of purpose. So, there are two types of classification on basis of purpose. The first one is general purpose computer. It is a type of computer designed to perform a wide variety of tasks rather than being specialized for a single function. So, ang ibig sabihin ng general computer ay ito ay isang uri ng computer na kayang magpatakbo ng iba't ibang uri ng software upang matugunan ang iba't ibang pangangailangan sa pag-compute. Maaring itong gamitin sa word processing, web browsing, gaming, at marami pang iba. Ang halimbawa ng general purpose computer ay desktops, laptops, at tablets na maaaring gamitin sa trabaho, pag-aaral, at marami pang iba. The second one is specific purpose computer. It is a design to perform a dedicated function or a limited set of tasks efficiently. So, ito ay hindi tulad ng general purpose computer. Ang specific purpose computer ay inaangkop para sa particular na application at kadalasang may espesyal na hardware at software na naaayon sa kanilang tiyak na gamit tulad ng ATM para sa banking, POS system para sa negosyo at medical imaging computer para sa mga hospitals. So next is classification on the basis of data handling. So there are three types of classification on the basis of data handling. First is analog computer. It is a type of computer that processes continuous data. So ang analog computer ay isang uri ng computer na gumagamit ng physical na dami tulad ng voltage ng kuryente, presyon ng likido o mechanical na galaw upang kumatawan sa impormasyon at magsagawa ng mga conclusions. Hindi tulad ng digital computer na gumagamit ng mga numbers. Ang analog computer ay mahusay sa pagsukat ng tuloy-tuloy na datos, kaya't ginagamit ang mga ito sa mga applications tulad ng weather forecasting, control ng makina at scientific simulations. So next is digital computer. When we say digital computer, it is a type of computer that processes data in binary form using electronic circuits. So ang digital computer ay isang uri ng computer na gumagamit ng binary system upang iproseso, iimbak at ipakita ang impormasyon. Ito ang pinakakaraniwang ginagamit na computer ngayon at matatagpuan ito sa iba't ibang anyo tulad ng desktop, laptop, tablet at smartphone. So the last one is hybrid computer. A combination of computer those are capable of inputting and outputting in both digital and analog signals. So when we say hybrid computer, ito ay isang makapangyarihang uri ng computer na kayang iproseso ang parehong analog at digital na impormasyon, kaya nagiging mahalaga ito sa mga application na nangangailangan ng mabilis at tumpak na resulta. So next is classification on the basis of size. So first is supercomputer. It is a high advanced and powerful computer designed to perform extremely complex and resource-intensive tasks at incredible spans. So when we say supercomputer are used for specialized computations that require immense processing power, typically in fields like scientific research, weather forecasting, artificial intelligence, medical simulation, at nuclear testings. Mas malakas ito kaysa sa ordinaryong computers dahil kaya nitong iproseso ang napakaraming impormasyon ng sabay-sabay gamit ang libo-libong processors. Ang supercomputer ay mahalaga sa pagsusuri ng malaking problema na hindi kayang gawin ng karaniwang computer, kaya ginagamit ito ng mga scientists, engineer at gobyernos dito sa buong mundo. So next is mainframe computer. It is a large, powerful computer designed to handle and process vast amount of data, manage numerous current users, and support critical resource-intensive tasks. So when we say mainframe computer, ito ay isang malaki at makapangyarihang computer na idinisenyo upang magproseso ng napakaraming datos. Ginagamit ito ng malalaking organisasyon tulad ng bangko, hospitals, gobyerno at malaking corporations upang ligtas at mabilis na maproseso ang mga malalaking transaksyon tulad ng banking transactions, airline reservations at data storage ng milyon-milyong tao. So next is mini computer. A mini computer, also known as mid-range computer, is a class of complex that is smaller and less powerful than a mainframe, but is still capable of supporting and multiple users and handling moderate to complex tasks. So when we say mini computer or mid-range computer, ito ay isang uri ng computer na mas maliit at mas mahina kumpara sa mainframe computer. Ginagamit ito sa mga negosyo, university at institutions para magproseso ng data, patakbuhin ang mga database at suportahan ang mga application na nangangailangan ng mabilis at sabay-sabay na operations. So next is microcomputer or personal computer. So when we say desktop computer, it is a personal computer designed to be used at fixed locations, typically on our desk or workstations. So microcomputer or personal computer ay isang uri ng personal computer or PC na ay dinisenyo upang gamitin sa isang tiyak na lugar, karaniwan sa isang lamesa o workstations. Hindi tulad ng laptop, ang desktop ay hindi portable dahil ito ay binubuo ng hiwalay na monitor, CPU, keyboard at mouse. Ginagamit ito sa mga opisina, paaralan at bahay para sa iba't ibang gawain tulad ng pag-aaral, trabaho, at gaming sa pag-edit ng media dahil sa mas malakas na hardware at mas mataas na storage capacity ng computer desktop. Next one is laptop computer. It is a portable computer complete with an integrated screen and keyboard. It is a generally smaller size than desktops. So when we say laptop computer, ay isang uri ng portable computer na may kasamang integrated screen at keyboard at nagbibigay daan upang magamit at kahit saan mas maliit ito kaysa sa desktop computer. Ngunit may halos parehong kakayahan pagdating sa pagproproseso ng data at iba't ibang gawain dahil sa kanyang magaan na disenyo at rechargeable battery. Ginagamit ang laptop sa paaralan, opisina at maging sa paglalakbay kaya ito ay perpekto sa mga taong kailangang magtrabaho o mag-aral nang hindi nakakulong sa isang lugar. So next one is a palm-top computer. It is an absolute approximately pocket calculator size, battery-powered computer in horizontal clamshell design with integrated keyboard and display. So when we say palm-top computer, ito ay isang uri ng computer na hindi na gaanong ginagamit sa ngayon. May sukat na halos kasing laki ng isang pocket calculator at pinapalakas ng battery. Mayroon itong napaloob na keyboard at display kaya maaari mong gamitin ito para mag-type at makita ang mga informations. Dahil sa maliit nitong sukat, madali itong dalhin at gamitin kahit saan. So the last one is workstation, a terminal or desktop in a network. So when we say workstation, ito ay isang uri ng computer or terminal na konektado sa isang network na karaniwang ginagamit para sa mabibigat na gawain tulad ng graphic design, engineering, programming at data analysis. Mas malakas ito kaysa sa isang karaniwang desktop computer dahil may mas mataas itong processing power, memory at storage capacity, kaya ito ay ginagamit sa mga professional na gawain na nangangailangan ng mabilis at effective na pagproproseso ng informations. So, that's all guys. I hope you have learned about the classification of computers. Thank you!